So here's the main star of the show. This is what's going to cook tea tonight, or dinner. It's a 7.5 litre capacity. It's the Ninja Foodi or Foodi Max. It says it's 9-in-1, but I'm sure I can make it do more. It's not an air fryer, it's an air crisper, which is just a posh name Ninja are using. Comes with a 2-tier reversible rack. It's capable of making yogurt, sear and saute, to steam, slow cook, pressure cook, air crisp, bacon roast, grill and dehydrate, which might come in handy for some beef jerky. It says it's also capable of doing up to a 3 kilogram chicken as well, and you can cook up to 6 portions, but that does depend on the size of your portion, and it also does 1-pot meals. So I'm going to unbox it. You've all seen one being unboxed before, so I'm going to take this out of the box and then continue from there. Just to let you know, it's a 1760 watt, if anyone's concerned about how much usage it uses. But what you have to also consider is your standard cooker, whether it be electric hob or electric oven, is also high demanding, and this does it in half the time, if not less. So let's get it out of the box, then I'll come back. Right guys, I must say this weighs 13 kilograms, so if you're into doing some weight training, I would recommend this 9-in-1. Ceramic bowl which comes out. It has got watermarks on the side to tell you it's got metric and imperial, also lists cups, as in like most recipes nowadays says 1 cup, 2 cup, things like that. And it's also got the literage as well on there. In the base of this is a little press down button, and if this is not in pressing down on it, then obviously it's not going to function. So it's kind of a safety thing. If that's been removed, therefore the unit won't work. Also comes with the air fryer basket. That's it there. Kind of neat. It's got like a plasticky clip on and off feet, so it's not sat directly on the base of the ceramic bowl, therefore it will allow the air to penetrate underneath and back up. It does clip off, like I said, and it can be washed, so that's a bonus. I do say we tend to use these silicone dishes. They're about £1.50, £2 or so on Amazon. You put your stuff in there, drop it in the basket, it's then air fried directly from there, and the only thing you have to wash is the silicone dish instead of that, instead of the base. Comes with a 2-tier rack, and then you can either cook on the base of the base of the rack if you don't want direct heat blasting down on your smoked salmon or something like that, or sit that on top and then cook as a 2-tier rack as well, which is a kind of bonus. The main lid comes down for the air fryer itself. That shuts down. Very heavy, it's not going anywhere, and your on and off is push start and push stop, and then obviously choose whether you're going to do pressure, steam, slow cooking, yogurt. I will say that slow cooking and yogurt, although it lights up when you get to yogurt, you have to click it one more time to go to slow cooking, or the other way around. Searing and saute, which is browning off your meat in the base of the ceramic pot. And then we have the air crisper, which is air fry, grill, bake and roast, and dehydration, if you were going to put something on the rack and then cook it off. In the event of using the steamer, it comes with a second lid. For most of you who have used these type of steamers, and this is for an audience who doesn't know the Foodi, because most of us do have Ninjas now. If we're going to pressure cook, it goes to seal, and if we're going to vent as a slow cook, then we turn it to vent. Not much movement there, but you'll get the drift. And as it comes up to pressure on seal, you're waiting for that button to pop to the top, and it normally does a countdown up to 10 minutes. Once it's pressurized, that button will be flush with the plastic here, and then you know it's up to pressure. What I had to do when it arrived, and I only knew this through other reviews, is this seal doesn't always sit in properly, so you just have to push it down like that, because it shakes about in transit. Once it's in place, it sits just under this metal rim, this circle, and once it's in place, then you know it's sealed. And the thing won't work if the seal isn't right. This comes off as well to clean if you need to, if you get any grime under there. The seal comes off to rinse. And looking at this, there's no electrical parts on it, so I dare say you would be able to submerge it underwater to clean it, but that's something you will have to read in the manual. Let's just get rid of that sticker. So in the event of steaming, your lock mark is there. You match it up with the edge somewhere here. This is first time, guys, so there it is there. Just at the end of that line, you've got an arrow to turn to lock. So right on the edge of that line, you see it go down. Have I got it? And there we go, and that's that locked there. Then you would turn this paddle out the back to either vent to slow cook or seal to steam. Steam. So let's power it up, see what it looks like on the display. Foodi, you can control the temperatures by and the functions and the temperatures by these buttons down here. They're just a soft touch. So we're on 200 Celsius, and then it's just a dial down or dial up back to it. If you're going to use the dehydration, I believe it's the lowest setting altogether, or dehydrate. If you go to function, then that is, we're on air crisp, go down to grill, bake, dehydrate. Do we come over this side? Pressure, steam. Now if you watch, it stops on slow cook, which is also yogurt, but turn it one more time and it clicks and says yogurt as well. And then down to sauteing or searing in the ceramic pan, which is in the base there. And then to set your time, this is new to me, so please bear with me. I guess we hit that, it's on, we don't want it on, so we'll switch it back off. It said end. Let's see if we can set the time. Maybe the time is on pressure. Right, there we go. So we set the time. That's 10 minutes. That's 2 minutes, which you could do rice in, or if you're doing a long slow cook, then you can just keep going. What I will say is there's a very comprehensive menu and how to use guide here. That's your instructions on how to use. Most men would throw it away, the ladies will read, but this is what I'm interested in. There is a guide somewhere in the middle here, and I might have just gone past it, and it tells you the best recommended settings and the charts for the type of food you use. And sorry, I'm not holding that in view. So to do black beans, 500 gram, 1.5 litres of water on a low pressure for 5 minutes. And everything's listed in there. One thing I was impressed about was this quality of this book. It's one of them books which will go with the rest of your cookbooks in the kitchen, and then when it comes to your first time cooking of certain produce or meats, then you can look at these guides. It'll tell you different things. Pearl barley, spelt, which some of this is more American based, brown rice, chocolate oats, didn't know you get long cut, and an array of things. And don't forget, it's not just a steamer and cooker, it's also a yogurt maker, as well as bacon and roasting as well. So that's that. What I'm going to do now is pop a load of veg in the bottom of it. Just take this lid off so I can get in at it. I'm not using this, so I'll stand that aside. And let me just go and get my vegetables. So I have 3 onions here, 1 large stick of leek, and 2 carrots chopped up. They've been washed other than the onions, and they're going to go in the bottom and they'll melt to nothing. They'll disappear, disintegrate with the time I'm cooking this. I'm also going to add 2 beef stock cubes. These are the Knorr ones. They're like a jelly. They just peel open, and I'm going to drop them directly onto the base because this is going to take all the juices from the meat, if I can get it in, and then the juices from the meat are going to become the gravy. Once this is finally done, bearing in mind it's going to be pressure cooked, there will be a lot of water in there, but that water will amalgamate not only with these Knorr stock cubes but with the juices from the meat as well. And then, only then, once it's cooked, will I add the thickening. And I'm just going to use a cornstarch slurry. So let me, slurry. So far it looks like that. I'm also going to add some honey, and I'm also going to add some French mustard. And that's something I would normally glaze my beef in normally, but I'm just going to pour it into there. And that's what's going to make the very rich gravy and sweet to go with the rest of the vegetables. So here's my honey. There's not much left, so I'm just going to use all of this. It has been a little cold in my conservatory, which is my kitchen, and you can see it's crystallised there, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is sear this beef. I'm going to equally coat it on every side, get it nice and golden brown. Not cooking it, but searing it before it goes in the new Ninja. I haven't put any oil in the pan. I'm going to allow the fats from the beef just to render down and then obviously act as that fat. Just evenly coating it with a nice golden brown sear. I haven't seasoned the meat because it's going in a casserole, and all the seasoning is going to be added within that. So there's our joint of topside beef. That's been seared on all sides, including the bottom. The reason why I've done that is because it's a rounder beef. I don't want it to fall apart, and it's now all held together along with all the juices. Heat's turned off. That's going to pull all the juices back into the meat, and then I'm going to add that to the slow cooking after I've done the veg. I'm also going to use a healthy portion of the whole grain mustard. You can use the Coleman's hot mustard. It's all down to your preference, but I just want this just to add, I mean obviously it goes with beef anyway, and this is going to mix with the honey and it's going to enrich the gravy, then like I say, all we need to do is thicken it. So all we need to do now is give it a good stir with a wooden or plastic spatula, because we don't want to damage the base of the ceramic pot. So we've got carrot, celery, honey and mustard, the 2 North stock cubes, and all of this in here now will be just pulverised into nothing. You'd be lucky to see it after it's been pressure cooked for a period of time, and the meat is just going to sit on top of there. And the partners in crime to go with a pressure cooker, one seared, I think there's about 2 kilo here. It is on offer at your local supermarket called Asda. It is £7 a kilo, if I'm right. Yes, I am. £7 a kilo. It would normally be somewhere near the region of £9 to £10. It's more than half price offers going on there in the local supermarket. I'm not paid to mention them, but obviously I get most of the groceries from there. So that's seared. All we need to do now is cook it. So I'm going to wash my hands, drop the lid down and send it on its way. So I've just checked the guidelines for the Ninja Foodi Maxi, that's a mouthful, cookbook. And what it says is beef brisket, this is top side, so more or less the same, between 1.5 and 2 kilograms whole. You have to add 250 millilitres of water. Accessories, I'm guessing you just cook it on the base. High pressure for 1 hour and, well, 1.5 hours. So that's all it's going to take, 1.5 hours. And in the last 20 minutes of that cook time, I'll set the veg and the Yorkshire puddings on the go. So I'm not using the main lid, which goes up and down. I'm using the steam lid. It's set to seal, and obviously I'm going to power it on, and then in an hour and 30 minutes it's all going to be ready. But all your guides in here, which is a really compact, small cookbook, very good, and it's got lots of recipes in there as well, some of my favourites as well. (130) high on pressure and start. And that is the warming up feature now. That's going to build up the pressure. Once that's completed, which is around 10 minutes, that little valve will come flush to the top, and then it'll start the cooking process. So as you can see now, it's starting to steam just from that valve here at the back, and when it's up to pressure, that'll come flush. So it's going to vent a little bit off now, and then when it's up to pressure, that little thing will pop up. And there you go. It's now sealed, so it's now gonna go into cook mode. Right, so there we are, we're done. That's 1 hour and 30 minutes. It's now gone on to keep warm. I believe the keep warm feature will now keep the food warm for up to 12 hours. I believe so. I believe I've heard that in another review I've watched. So what I'm going to do now is vent it, get all the steam out of it, and then that way I can thicken up the gravy. So right on the back of the unit there's a little button which we just push to one side to the other, and this is the steam or seal. And when that little button pops back down at the back, the one we had to pressurise, that tells us that the lid is then ready to open. And there's our Yorkshire puddings, which are going to house the dinner. So as you can see, that button's popped down, so we can now twist and turn this lid. Just watch out for the steam.